The Ferris wheel loomed like a skeletal giant against the night sky. Its vacant carriages swayed gently in the breeze, creaking like old bones. Garlands of light bulbs, now dark and lifeless, hung limply from the rickety stalls. The air was thick with the lingering scent of popcorn and cotton candy, a ghostly reminder of the day's joyous crowds. Now, silence reigned, broken only by the distant, mournful howl of a dog.
Will's heart pounded in his chest, fear constricting his throat. The carnival, so vibrant and inviting just hours ago, had transformed into a sinister labyrinth under the cloak of night. Each shadow seemed to writhe, every rustle of wind a whispered threat.
A figure emerged from the shadows of the carousel, tall and skeletal, with a top hat perched upon his head. Mr. Dark. His eyes, two burning embers, settled on Will. Mr. Dark's gaze held him captive.
"Not so fast," Mr. Dark chuckled, the sound devoid of warmth. "The night is young. How about a ride on the carousel? Just one?"
Will found himself seated upon a magnificent black stallion, its eyes two glittering rubies. Tom was gone. Panic seized Will, a scream building in his throat, but Mr. Dark's hand on his shoulder silenced him. The carousel lurched into motion, the calliope wheezing out a distorted, haunting melody. But something was wrong. The carousel wasn't spinning forward. It was moving in reverse.
With each revolution, a strange sensation washed over Will. He felt lighter, smaller. His clothes felt loose, his limbs heavy and uncoordinated. He tried to call out, but his voice emerged as a garbled squeak. His fear intensified, morphing into a primal terror he couldn't articulate.
The world around him seemed gigantic, distorted. The once majestic stallion now towered over him, its jeweled eyes menacing. Will's chubby fingers, now barely able to grasp, slipped on the smooth pole he desperately clung to. The calliope music, warped and distorted, echoed the chaotic rhythm of his racing heart.
He was a baby, a helpless infant trapped in a carousel nightmare.
He could no longer think clearly, his thoughts reduced to primal urges and fleeting images. Yet, somewhere deep inside, a sliver of his 13-year-old consciousness remained, a horrified witness to his own terrifying regression. The carousel shuddered to a halt. Mr. Dark, a looming shadow against the night sky, reached down, effortlessly lifting Will from the saddle. His touch sent shivers down Will's spine.
There, little one,"
Mr. Dark crooned, his voice a grotesque parody of comfort. A guttural chuckle broke the tense silence. A grotesque figure, small and hunched with mismatched buttons sewn onto his ragged clothing, emerged from behind Mr. Dark.
"I'll take him now, Mr. Dark."
His voice was a grating rasp. Mr. Dark deposited Will into the dwarf's grubby hands. Will whimpered, reaching out with chubby fists, a silent plea for his mother that would never be heard. His eyes, wide with terror, darted around frantically, searching for escape in the desolate carnival landscape. But there was none.
"Ah, Jim."
Mr. Dark's voice dripped with an oily charm, drawing Will's attention. A boy, no older than 14, stood frozen by the carousel. Now he looked different, his eyes filled with a desperate resolve.
"It's your turn, Jim. One ride, and you shall have your heart's desire."
Jim Nightshade took a step towards the carousel, towards the waiting horse, towards his terrifying transformation. Will could only watch, his baby mind unable to comprehend the bargain that had just been struck. He was trapped, a prisoner in his own infancy, and the carnival, cloaked in shadows and secrets, had claimed another victim.